Hey guys, welcome to Quintessential Comix, episode 12. The Toronto Cartoonists Workshop edition, I guess, is what we're going to call it.
Okay.
I'm Alice Quinn, your host.
And I'm your co-host, Matt Garcia.
Yeah, we got some awesome stuff lined up for you. News, upcoming events, new releases, and in-shop with the Toronto Cartoonists Workshop. All up in minutes. Thanks for joining us today on Quintessential Comix.
Hi guys, it's Matt with your news for this week. From DC, they've announced in May there's going to be a few annuals coming out. We're going to have Batman Annual Number 1, co-written by Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, and art by Jason Fabok. We'll also have Animal Man Annual Number 1, written by Jeff Lemire, and art by Jason Fabok as well. Wait, no, art by Timothy Green II. That's important. And finally, Teen Titans Annual Number 1, which will be co-written by Scott Lobdell and Tom DeFalco, and the artist will be Brett Booth on that. The Batman story will will introduce Mr. Freeze into DC's New 52. Animal Man focus on the history between the Green, the Red, and the Rot, continuing on the Animal Man and ongoing and Swamp Thing. And Teen Titans will affect the Superboy, Legion Lost, Teen Titans, and upcoming Ravagers series timelines there. So there you go. And hey, DC beat Marvel in unit share again at 39.86% versus Marvel's 37.51%. There's a slight margin anyways, but Marvel still made more money, so too bad. DC got the top 10 spots for bestsellers this in January, which is cool. Like, they actually got the top 10 this time. There's no Marvel. In fact, for instance, Aquaman outsold every Marvel book last month. Ha, ha, ha. King of the Seas. All right, and let's see. Garth Ennis has written a children's book, his first children's book. Garth Ennis. Interesting. Funded through Kickstarter. The book's called Earth, and it centers on 4 primordial creatures getting out of the ocean, hitting land, and finding mysterious terror there. So that's interesting. Yeah, and that's a good job for joining Kickstarter. He's kind of doing the kind of indie way to do things these days on Kickstarter. You get a whole bunch of people publicly funding what you're doing. So that was interesting. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still waiting for Warren Ellis's children's book. And from Boom Studios, we've creator-owned Irredeemable, and the spin-off of that, called Incorruptible, is going to end in May, says the creator Mark Waid. Waid also says there are other stories that could be told in the universe, but let's see how fans react to the big finale first. So it could be interesting. And out of self-publishing news, in related news, French company Aquafadas is heading up a suite of tools for self-publishing. If you remember, we did the story a while back about that suite that came out. There's another one. It's going to have App Factory for custom apps, which is going to be publication. You can make a bookstore for your own stuff, that kind of thing. There's going to be plugins for Adobe InDesign, so when you're laying out your panels or whatever like that. And there's Comic Composer, which is a desktop app that lets users create panel-by-panel views for digital comics. So you can have each panel swiping through, or you can make it an automatic slideshow and stuff like that. So it's really, right now it's pretty much for the iOS only, but in the future they're going to bring it to the Android. So you have those platforms. And the App Factory apps will never work for Kindle because it's only black and white. Screw that, they say. Anyways, they didn't actually say that. That's your news for this week.
Hey, it's Alice with your upcoming events. Before we go into upcoming events, I have to issue a correction. Last week I said that The Phantom Menace comes out in 3D, but I was wrong. That's this week. So if you were really bummed, I'm really sorry, but you can watch Phantom Menace theaters in 3D this weekend. Tons of awesome stuff happening this weekend. Well, like I've been saying for like the past month, oh my god, the Nerdist is here. What? So that's this weekend. If you don't have tickets, the only show that isn't sold out is the Friday 10:30 show. The other 3 shows that are booked are sold out, so damn. So that's at the Comedy Bar at 945B Bloor Street West. And that's on Friday, February 10th. On the 11th of February, which is a Saturday, Marvin Law is sketching at Silver Snail, which is at 367 Queen Street West. If you haven't been there before, check it out, man. It's a cool store. And that's from 10 till 7, and he does, like, commissions and stuff, and he's really cool, and doing some awesome T.Comic stuff, so check that out. I don't know, I was trying to do that Ivor thing. Okay, also on Saturday, the 11th, Adventure Time at Little Island. So if you've been following Adventure Time's coming out with a comic, what? It's out this week, as in Wednesday. As in, it's already out when you're watching this. So check that out. It's written by Ryan North and headed out by some awesome artist people. And they're doing a signing at Little Island Comics, which is the world's, or North America's first kids-only comic shop. But I think if you're not a kid, you can still come to the signing. Bring one, just in case. So that's from 3 to 4:30 at Little Island Comics at 742 Bathurst Street. It's right beside, like, Bathurst and Bloor, Honest Ed's. It's right in that area. Ryan North and Steve Wolfhard will be there to sign your comics. So check that out. More awesome events on the T.Comics events calendar, t.comics.ca/calendar. Thanks, and I'll see you hopefully out at some nerdy things this week.
Hi guys, it's Matt again for your releases this week. Coming out of DC, we have Batman, Time and the Batman trade. We've also got iZombie Volume 3 trade, 6 Feet Under and Rising. We have Superman, the Black Ring trade, Volume 1. And from Drawn and Quarterly, it's based on Korean folktales and stuff. It's called Jinchalo. It's a graphic novel, if you're interested in finding something a little different from the usual this week. From Dynamite Entertainment, we have The Lone Ranger trade, Volume 1, The Death of Zorro. Started off with killing Zorro. So yeah, that works. From IDW, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trade, Volume 1. They've all got red masks, and I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. From Image, we have Artifacts Trade, Volume 3, the stunning conclusion of something I've never read. Amazing. And Hackslash Trade, Volume 10, Dead Celebrities, for your nthly dose of thigh-high stockings. Weekly, monthly, however often you get them. From Marvel, we have Astonishing X-Men, Children of the Brood, hardcover. We have Avengers, Hawkeye, Earth's Mightiest Marksman, hardcover. I see what's going on. We've also got Deccan, Dark Wolverine, Pride Comes Before the Fall. It's written on the wall, as you can see. It's hardcover. And Fantastic Four, Season 1, hardcover. We've got Fear Itself, Secret Avengers, hardcover. And New Avengers trade, Volume 2. And to wrap it all up, we have Spider-Man Next Chapter trade, Volume 2. Those are your releases for this week. Have fun.
Hey guys, so this week, we got a special treat for y'alls. We're going in to the Toronto Cartoonists Workshop. We're going to show you how to make comics. What? Now, the good people at the Toronto Cartoonists Workshop, Sean Menard and Ty Templeton, take us through a little bit of what their courses are about and how the classes work. And we got some in-class footage for y'alls. So, enjoy.
Here's the thing. When you make a piece of art, when you make a statement, when you say something or make a drawing or a painting or a sculpture that I couldn't have conceived of because it's not the way my brain works, you prove you're real. Every time you do something that is uniquely you, every time you do it your way, not my way, but you create a thing that says, only I could have done this, only Rose could have done this. Well, at that point, you say to yourself, this person must be other than me. This person must exist. Not only do I think, therefore I am. You make art, therefore you are.
I'm Alice Quinn here in the Toronto Cartoonist Workshop with Ty Templeton. How you doing?
I am doing better than I should be, actually.
Running on no sleep?
Working on no sleep and too much work. But it's better to be overbooked for work than underbooked for work, so that's nice.
That is true. So you are working here as an art instructor telling these people how to make art. What kind of classes do you run here at the Toronto Cartoonist Workshop?
Well, the class we're about to teach actually is a script writing class, which is still a form of art, so it's still an art instructor. I also teach anatomy, I teach layout, I teach inking, I teach penciling. If there's some form of... The only thing I don't teach actually is lettering and coloring, because we don't have the computer bank set up here to do that right now. But if there's some form of comic skill that I know, I will impart it to you.
Awesome. So, like, do you teach a class every day of the week here? How often do you teach one?
I teach Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesday evenings. Mondays is scripting, Tuesdays is inking, Wednesdays is anatomy. Starting up in the next semester, I'll be teaching a class called Boot Camp, which is we make you not only pencil and write and ink and script and do everything in that class. It's sort of, I also make you drop and give me 20 if you give me trouble.
Oh, damn. So if you want to learn how to make comics like QuickTime, Boot Camp.
Sweat while you do it. I make you sweat, absolutely.
So you've done a number of amazing comics and continue to do so.
And some lousy ones. I have done some crappy comics. I'm proud of those, too.
We got ups, we got downs. So why have you chosen to take so much of your time into teaching these young Padawans the art ropes?
You said young Padawans. I love that. The actual answer is this. Comic book creating is a lonely job. You do it by yourself, and my commute is 11 steps from my living room. So I do it to own shoes. It's a reason to have shoes on and leave my house. There's a famous comic book artist from the 70s named Gene Day who used to work out of Toronto, and I was a huge fan of his. And I met his brother a couple of years ago who told me the story about how Gene one year was so overbooked on Batman comics that from Christmas to Christmas he never left his house. He had all of his groceries brought in, he had food cooked for him, and he never left his house. And he very proudly said to me, "Do you know, for that entire year Gene never wore shoes." And I heard that not as a thing of pride, but as a thing of fear. And fairly soon afterwards I went, I need a reason to own shoes. And at the same time, I love watching people develop their skills. My students can probably tell you I'm as enthusiastic to teach them as hopefully they are to be here. And nothing thrills me more than watching someone going from not knowing what they're doing to knowing what they're doing. It's an important thing that everybody out there can hear. There is no such thing as talent. That is a bullshit word. There is skill and craft, and skill and craft can be taught. Talent you have to be born with, but there's nobody born with the talent to make comics. Nobody.
Yeah. All you need is determination, and,
You need someone to instruct you on the skills you need. It's like if I told you tomorrow you had to fix a carburetor, you wouldn't do it by guesswork. You'd have somebody tell you what a carburetor is. Well, I teach people, the how to script a plot, how to create a figure out of, your imagination. These are all just basically working on a carburetor. There's nothing different about it. It's just a different skill set.
Awesome. So if you want to learn how to make comics, Ty is kind enough to help you out. Come on down to the Toronto Cartoonists Workshop.
All because I needed shoes.
All because he needed shoes. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yo, what up? Alice Coyne here with Sean Menard of the Toronto Cartoonists Workshop. How you doing today, Sean?
I'm doing great, Alice. Thanks.
How long have you been working with the Toronto Cartoonists Workshop?
The TCW's been around for about 2.5 years now.
Have you, ran it the whole time?
My partner, Walter Dickinson, started up the school, and I took it over about 1.5 years ago, so, yeah.
Well, since 1.5 years ago, you guys have been doing well, and you guys moved to this glorious new location.
Yes.
And you've added a ton of classes to your bill, as well as amazing artists to teach them.
Absolutely. We expanded into our studio, which is almost twice as big as our former home, and we've added art shows, and now we've recently added a comic book store. So
yeah, it's right behind us, in the making, you guys. Comic lounge and gallery before it opens. What? So this has been a really spectacular journey for you guys. What motivates the TCW? What got you guys from that little room, with those few classes to here?
Yeah, a lot of people ask us why we're here and what we're our mission. It all started with Walter Dickinson, my partner. He thought about where would I go to learn how to draw comics? There's nowhere really in the city where you can go to learn that. So he thought about what kind of classes would I like to learn, what type of things, so writing, penciling, inking, so on. So what he did was he went about going out and finding people in the city that he knows, so local professionals like Ty Templeton, as well as Jordy Miller and Scott Capel, people that he knew at Sheridan. So he went about designing the types of courses with the type of instructors that he would like to learn from. So that's really the genesis of the TCW. The other, I think, important thing about the TCW is our mandate is to allow folks to learn at their own pace in a different environment than your standard post-secondary education. So there's no... all of the instructors create their own curriculum, so there's no grand overseer. So we believe in allowing the instructors, they're the professionals, they create the curriculum, and that's why the students are here. So
all these instructors are people who have worked in the comic industry and have been successful and know what works and what doesn't, but at the same time, from what I can tell, you allow the students to develop at their own pace. So
yeah, absolutely. We have a comic book or comic arts certificate program that we created, and what it is it's the 7 courses that we recommend folks should take. The 101, if you really want to learn how to be a professional and make your own comics, but by no means do we force anyone to take all 7 or any of the 7. So they take what they'd like to take, and we help them along.
Cool. So if someone takes this whole 7-course comic curriculum, do they get a certificate that's like recognizable by university standards? Is it will the industry people recognize it and know that it's cool?
We put the certificate together with the help of Ty Templeton and a few other folks in the community. We chose courses that, in our minds, were absolutely necessary to being able to write and draw comics. So again, as you can probably understand, there aren't a lot of post-secondary institutions in Canada or the U.S. That have comic arts certificate programs. We might be one of the first, and we aren't affiliated with the Ontario government. We, again, believe in structuring things our way.
Yeah.
More of a college approach than a university approach, if you will.
Because, you were on College Street, so...
Wow, yeah.
Sorry, I had to. Puns.
All right, I set that one up.
So if you want to learn how to do comics and, post-secondary thing, you don't want to sit through an art class. If you want to learn how to do comics, Toronto Cartoonists Workshop's where it's at. Also, you guys hold amazing events here. You guys had a book launch a couple weeks ago we covered. You guys got signings coming up. And this amazing comic lounge and gallery behind us that's about to blast off. So we're really excited for you guys.
Well, thank you. We're very excited ourselves, and look for our opening party probably at the end of this month or early March. We'll certainly let you know, Alice.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Thanks for meeting with me today.
Thank you very much.
So thanks for watching this week's episode of Quintessential Comix. We hope you've enjoyed the episode and visiting the Toronto Cartoonists Workshop with us. We got our book club coming up soon, so... we've got a recommendation of Scud the Disposable Assassin, which is an amazing book, and I'm like, yeah, so down. So we either need an assassin book or a robot book to pair with that. So send me your suggestions at t.comics on Twitter or email me. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Same place, same time, Fridays, lunchtime, Quintessential Comix. Hey, you might be wondering, what? The episode just ended. Why are you back here? Well, I'm telling you the ways you can support Quintessential Comix online. If you care to, please do check out our various sites and or comment on these videos and or other stuff I do. Firstly, check out Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube, or the website. Thanks for your support. Love ya!